Hello, hello! Welcome back to VBS Event Summaries. After our rather lengthy introduction to the team, the first focus event for Vivid Bad Squad belongs to An Shiraishi and Singing in Sync. The event ran on the JP server from November 30th through December 10th, 2020. For those of you who are new, welcome! I use the JP server as our reference timeline, but generally the English server is about a year behind, give or take a day or two. But for some reason, this event specifically was delayed until January on the EN server. Why? I'm not quite sure. And it's not especially relevant anyway, I just thought it was worth mentioning. The commission song for this event is Forward. Now, let's see what trials and tribulations await the newly formed Vivid Bad Squad on their journey to surpass Rad Weekend. VBS is starting to plan their roadmap for the future, which means explaining to Kohane the different types of events they can perform in. One type is invitational shows, which is what they've done up until this point. The other type of event is a battle. You know, competing for the audience's votes. Standard music battle stuff, I think? No, don't quote me on that, I don't know what I'm talking about. The four of them decide to enter a battle type event called Stay Golden, which is a returning show that featured some big names in the past. A group that was featured in Rad Weekend also played there last year, so there's a bit of a personal interest in this particular event for VBS specifically. If they can turn more heads, that's a big step in the right direction. Kohane seems a bit nervous about all of this, but she's determined to see it through alongside her teammates. Before the show, VBS is practicing and chatting and such as per usual, and Kohane admits to her nervousness again, as per usual. An says that she'll be there to support her during the show, and if Kohane gets lost, she can just follow An's lead. See, the problem with that is that the crowd at the event gets so loud that Kohane can't hear An at all, let alone her other teammates. Everything starts out great, the intro goes well, and the crowd is cheering super loud, almost too loud. Kohane loses her footing in the music and starts missing cues left, right, and center. When An pulls away to back her up, the chorus of the song loses her strong lead and the whole thing sounds super off. Even the audience is starting to notice now. They make it through the song, but their thunderous lead was completely thrown off by their rocky landing. Backstage, everyone blames themselves for how the performance went. Well, except for Akito. But An blames herself more than the others. She said she'd help Kohane and lead her along. She's failed as a partner. She failed to protect Kohane. Wait, protect? Is Kohane the type of person who needs protecting? Is she so solely dependent on An's special treatment? To Akito, it seems as though An has been coddling Kohane and isn't respecting her as a fully fledged member of VBS. It's all unintentional on An's part, but the realization still strikes her all the same. An hasn't been fair. Not at all. She needs to apologize, but it doesn't go very well. An can't bring herself to tell Kohane the truth. She tries, but her voice falters and Kohane smiles sadly and brings the two of them back to the venue to hear the results. VBS didn't win. Is anyone shocked? No? Okay, good. Moving on. An tries to finish her conversation with Kohane, but she and the rest of the squad head home in opposite directions, saying they'll all talk tomorrow at practice. Poor An getting stood up so many times when she's clearly distressed. Speaking of which, An runs into Haruka outside the venue. It seems the two of them are childhood friends. Never would have seen that one coming. An can't really hide her emotions and dumps it all onto Haruka when prompted. She tells An to be upfront with her feelings and tell Kohane the truth, the whole truth, because that's better than bottling them up and letting things fester. That night, An realizes the real truth of the situation. She enjoyed having Kohane rely on her. It was so fun to guide her along and help her discover everything about their little corner of the world. An wasn't treating Kohane like her partner, more like her sidekick, which is totally unfair to her and to the other members of their group since it's affecting their performances. Kohane talks with Minori at school, and she gives her a little pep talk about not feeling so useless despite the skill gap between herself and her squad. I guess it's just Mormor Jump giving advice to Vivid Bad Squad time? While An is beating herself up over not treating Kohane like an equal, Kohane is beating herself up for relying on her teammates all the time. This misunderstanding is killing me! Just go talk to each other already, please! Kohane even goes to ask Meiko for advice, and it's more of the same. Can't we just skip to the part where they talk and figure things out already? I'm going insane over here. Okay, great. Toya is here. We can move the plot forward a little bit. Kohane asks Toya about her part of the misunderstanding, namely, how Toya got to the level he's at now. Toya's answer is performing in public. Sure, practice makes progress, but it's clear how good someone is based on how they act in front of a crowd. Okay, so Kohane just needs to perform more. That's doable. That's one issue down. Quick preamble with An and Akito repeating the same things. Yep, okay, great. Kohane and Toya arrive at their usual practice spot, completing the quartet, and An launches right into her apology. It goes well! Yay! The girlfriends are back! Huh? What do you mean they never left? Look, they're hugging now, isn't that cute? In all seriousness, the girls just repeat everything they've said this entire time, just to each other this time. I don't feel the need to repeat myself again since we've already heard it a bunch. Once that's settled, VBS looks towards their next gig. Problem solved. For now. I always forget how short these early events are. Not that I'm complaining. Quite the opposite, actually. Thank you, An. I needed this little breather. Fun fact, I'm actually working on 2 videos at once, this one and the last one, so please excuse my lack of energy. I just don't have a lot to say. It was fine. Forward isn't my favorite An commission, but it's alright, I guess. Maybe my standards were set too high because of Jackpot. Can't go one video without mentioning Night Court. The next event is Toya's first focus, Nocturne Interlude. I'll see you then.